Good evening, Ms. Desai. What we're going to do tonight is each board member is going to ask you a question. It's the same board member asking the same question of all 7 candidates. Okay. And we'll start with my question.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself and share with us why you wish to serve on the board.
Okay, my name is Laura Desai.
Please talk in the microphone.
Oh, sure, no problem. Sorry. My name is Laura. Is that better? Okay. My name is Laura Desai, and I'm a resident here in Hopewell Township. I've grown up here, and I'm familiar with the Hopewell Valley Regional School District and the philosophy and what we're focusing on. And additionally, I'm a teacher, and so I do have a lot of day-to-day interaction in terms of the educational field, and I think I could share that expertise and bring a lot to the table as a school board candidate. Does that answer your question?
Laura, could you give us an idea of the specific strengths or talents that you'd bring to this position?
Sure. Did you have anything specific you wanted me to focus on?
I'll let you pick those out.
Okay. I'm extremely organized, detail-oriented, very energetic, and when I go after a task, I go after it with 100% of energy and a lot of enthusiasm for whatever it is I'm doing. And I believe that would benefit the board. In addition to that, my organizational skills and professional ability to interact with people at all different levels that we might be dealing with, I think would really be of assistance as a strength.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Sure. No, thank you for having me.
What is your background and experience in service to our schools and to our community?
Sure. Service specifically to the Hopewell Valley Regional School District, perhaps not in a direct fashion. However, I have been very involved in the Pennington-Hopewell Township community, and I have serviced the community mainly through the St. James Parish Church here in Pennington, where I do interact through the youth group with the students grades 9 to 12. I've also taught in the religious education program at St. James Church. And there I've taught the 6th grade, 7th grade. I haven't taught the 8th grade yet. I'm sure I'll get to that at some point. But I've taught a number of the religious education grades there, and have been very involved in the parish in multiple ways, also running the parish 5 p.m. music group that sings throughout the year, Saturday, September, all the way through June, where it's a mix of adults as well as youth. I've also interacted as an RCIA, which is, for anyone not familiar, rite of Catholic initiation in our parish as a teacher. For that, you have to be selected because it's normally for individuals who are coming into the parish who are not falling into the normal religious education categories. So it might be a youth who is over the age for the regular religious education program. It could be a young adult who's coming into the church and inquiring. So you're selected for that. So I've also interacted that way. And in the past, just this past year, I did that for a child who was had gone through the Hopewell Valley Middle School program, Timberlane. And in past years prior to that, 2 students who had gone through the Hopewell Valley Central High School. So indirectly, I've been able to impact the Hopewell Valley Regional School District through my interaction and involvement in St. James.
Thank you.
Sure.
Ms. Desai, thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for the interest in the school board. My question is, what do you see as the most critical 2 or 3 issues facing our district today?
Increasing size in terms of residents in our area and how that's going to impact our schooling and our school districts, and as a result, of course, staffing and space issues, and how that will impact our students, because Hopewell Valley Regional School District is known for its high level of education that's offered to the student population, and the residents, what we're looking for in terms of offering to our students. So those programs extracurricularly and funds that might be available or would need to be available based on that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Desai.
Hi. Evening.
If you disagreed with other board members over some matter, what would you do to try to achieve resolution?
Okay, well that's a pretty easy question for me actually, because at my workplace everyone usually nicknames me like the peacemaker. So that one's an easy one for me, because normally I guess it's maybe just my personality, but I try to be very balanced in how I look at something in perspective. And I utilize these skills also in leading the various things that I've done at St. James as well in that organization. Listening to both sides of this perspective, trying to voice my opinion in a non-confrontational manner that will allow for the perspective to be shared that I might have, but also help kind of bridge the gap so that it kind of calms the waters and settles any possible, if possible, conflict or dispute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Desai, can you tell us about a time that you made an unpopular decision?
Sure. An unpopular decision, probably I'd have to reference back to the experience prior to teaching when I worked in financial services. At that time, I managed the MBA recruitment division for the specific division in the company I worked for. And at the time, I took over. The recruitment schedule was such that we were recruiting nearly 30 schools. And we were bringing in a candidate pool which didn't match the amount of travel and cost expense that was going out to recruit at the 30 schools for initial presentations and then going out for first round interviews and then sometimes back on campus for second round interviews. And if you think about the number of individuals that had to go back all those times and all the travel and costs, et cetera, and time commitment for the pool of candidates that we were bringing in, it didn't make any sense. And so I presented this to the management that I reported to, and I said I think we would be more efficient if we narrowed our pools of MBA schools that we're recruiting at to where we're really bringing in the candidates from, or where we were having really high talent. And instead we make the rest of the schools, we don't drop them off our list, but instead we just make them a resume drop only. Which would mean that candidates from those other schools would still be able to apply to our programs, but we wouldn't go out to campus specifically and take all the time to recruit out there. And initially it was met with some resistance because it's the way things had always been. And I was kind of the young person coming in saying, hey, you know, I think that this would make sense. It would just make financial sense. But as it was presented up the ranks that needed to approve it, it was approved because it actually did make financial sense. It was cost saving, and it actually improved and streamlined our processes. So initially it wasn't a positive, but later on it was viewed that way.
Good evening, Ms. Desai. How do you view the role of a school board member compared to the responsibilities of the superintendent and the district staff?
I think a school board member has the responsibility to advise and assist, but the superintendent is obviously the final decision-making person. And obviously, the staff are the ones who are there day to day, seeing the issues on a first-hand basis. They're experiencing whatever the issue at hand might be. And the school board member can be there to give perspective as a person from the community, experiencing firsthand what they're offering, what you're going to be able to offer through taxpayer dollars, et cetera, to the school and the staff and the superintendent.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Desai. If you were to join the board, what do you think would be the area where you would have the steepest learning curve?
Probably the steepest learning curve for me would be maybe just getting on board with exactly what the focus is right now in terms of primary initiatives or new issues for the school board to face, and just make sure I'm up to speed on, you know, what has been done in the past, where we're going forward, and maybe looking at what the biggest challenges are for the school board facing us right now and how we look to address them. I probably just need to get up to speed on that.
Thanks.
Mr. Stein, are there any concluding comments you wish to share with the board?
No, just thank you for your time this evening, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for your interest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thanks.